According to reports, the U.S. House of Representatives approved a legislative amendment by voice vote that exempts India from CAATSA sanctions, in exchange for buying an S-400 missile defense system from Russia. This will strengthen defense ties between the two democracies and serve to deter aggressors like China. The Democratic representative and Indian-American Congressman, Ro Khanna's amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act was passed by the House on Thursday. The amendment requests that the Biden administration utilize its power to give India with a CAATSA waiver to assist in discouraging aggressors like China. However, India has not got CAATSA waiver just yet. This amendment still has to pass multiple legislative hurdles before it becomes a law. The waiver is not a bill that needs to be approved by lawmakers and signed into law. The amendment merely urges the Joe Biden administration to approve the exception. The amendment does not mean a waiver has been granted, because only the president can grant the waiver under CAATSA. The Senate's version of the NDAA must be approved once the House passes it. Before voting again, later this year, legislators must agree on a compromise version of the measure, which authorizes more than $800 billion in defense expenditures. Mr. Khanna said that this historic amendment was the most important piece of legislation to emerge from Congress since the U.S.-India nuclear agreement. The Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act became a subject of contention in India-US relations after New Delhi signed a deal with Moscow to obtain the S-400 missile defense system. Washington was debating whether to impose or lift sanctions on India in response to the transaction. Why the US should support India against Chinese aggression. For years, the US and its allies have attempted to persuade India to become a closer military and economic partner in countering China's aspirations, portraying it as an opportunity for the world's greatest democracy to counterbalance the world's largest autocracy. They have discussed the need of ensuring a free, open, and vibrant Indo-Pacific in the face of China's escalating military maneuvering in the resource-rich area. China has emerged as the primary danger throughout a broad arc of the Indo-Pacific. China's military modernization and growth have put it on the verge of becoming one of the world's most powerful militaries. In fact, the PLA Navy is presently the world's biggest in terms of size. China now possesses 355 ships, including 145 main combatants, 6 nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, 6 nuclear-powered attack submarines, and 46 diesel-powered attack submarines. It is capable of conducting long-range attacks from submarines and surface ships. The PLA is rapidly deploying warships to the Indian Ocean, and its submarines now visit twice a year. The Indian Ocean will continue to be one of the world's most vital places, with more than 70% of global marine trade and 50% of daily global oil transfers flowing through it. Controlling this territory would be a huge step toward China's ambition of dethroning the United States as the head of the world order. Chinese industry is dependent on maritime routes that transport goods and oil across the Malacca Strait, which connects Malaysia and Indonesia. This tiny canal is ideal for clogging. In the case of a crisis or conflict, India's natural location in the Indian Ocean, with basing capabilities in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands near the mouth of the strait, would allow its navy to shut it off. However, China may increasingly be able to circumvent this. As part of the Belt and Road Initiative, they are constructing new ports in Pakistan, Myanmar, Cambodia, Bangladesh, and Maldives, and have already established a substantial presence on the Horn of Africa in Djibouti. And it appears that the Chinese Navy will construct a larger fleet there. In addition, the opening of the Northern Sea Route in the Arctic might result in the formation of a polar Silk Road. Both provide alternatives to the Malacca vulnerability. The rising Chinese naval presence in the Indian Ocean may hinder India's capacity to threaten shipments passing through Gwadar. And the Malacca Strait is no exception. The US has increased its collaboration with India in order to give New Delhi with security choices. The United States and India have signed 3 key military treaties. These are the General Military Information Security Agreement, the Logistics Exchange, Memorandum of Agreement, and the Communications Compatibility and Security Agreement. These agreements are typically struck by the United States and its defense partners in order to improve military cooperation. Both India and the United States have made strides in establishing a solid alliance. The collaboration between India and the United States may be challenging, but it is essential. Given China's economic and military advances, the United States will need to devote significant resources to confront China, and it cannot do so alone. India continues to be an important piece of the puzzle for the US, and it will need to reassure India that it is a top priority for US foreign policy, and not just a regional prop, to counterbalance Beijing's strength in the area. Failure to give India a waiver will result in the relationship being reset.